Welcome to Lesson 2 of How to Understand Quranic Grammar series. Last lesson, we started our journey into the Quranic Grammar. We understood the division of all words in Arabic, including ism, fi'l, and harf. And we learned how to identify the state of the nouns found in the Quran. Make sure to check out the first lesson if you haven't done that already. I'll leave the links in the description. And today's topic is the gender of the noun. In Arabic, there are only two genders, masculine and feminine. And where applicable, these genders follow the natural genders, meaning whatever is male, be that human or animal, is masculine. And the same goes for feminine nouns. All other objects are also masculine or feminine. So how do we know which is masculine and which is feminine? It is safe to say that all Arabic nouns are masculine, except for three cases. The first one is that nouns that refer to a natural female. So if the meaning of the word is feminine, the gender of the word will always be feminine too. So words like imra'ah, a woman, a mother. The meaning of these words is feminine. So the grammatical gender will follow the natural gender of these words. This also includes proper nouns and names of characters, like for example, Maryam, which is a name of a woman, of course. The second case that makes a word feminine is that if the word ends with ta marbuta. There are of course very few exceptions to this rule in the Quran, but you can say that 99% of the words that end with ta marbuta are automatically feminine words, like shajara, a tree, ummah, a community, and so on. The last category of words is body parts that occur in pairs. So words like ayn, which means an eye, rijl, a leg, yad, a hand, will all be feminine. So any word that does not belong to any of these categories will automatically be grammatically masculine. There are, as I mentioned, some exceptions to this rule, but again, there are very few words found in the Quran. Like for example, the words sama, sky, ard, earth, Misr, which is Egypt, nar, which means fire, bi'r, which means a well. None of these words refer to a natural female. They do not end with a ta marbuta, and they are not body parts either. Still, all of these words are treated as feminine nouns. But now you might be wondering, why should I learn what is the gender of the word? Why would that help me understand the Quran? Well, there are three things that are affected with the gender of the noun that you should pay attention to. First, words that are used before the noun. Second, words that are used after the noun. Third, words that are used instead of the noun. So let's start with the first one, the words that come before the noun and are determined by the gender of the noun. We call this type of words demonstrative pronouns, or words like this, that, these, and so on, which we learned in the very first lesson of How to Understand the Quran series. So, knowing which gender the word is will make it possible for you to use and recognize the correct demonstrative pronoun, which has to be of the same gender. So, masculine demonstrative pronouns are used with masculine nouns, and feminine demonstrative pronouns are used with feminine nouns, like in these examples. وَقَالُوا مَا لِهَذَا الرَّسُولِ يَأْكُلُ الطَّعَامَ وَيَمْشِي فِي الْأَسْوَاقِ وَقَالَ الرَّسُولُ يَا رَبِّ إِنَّ قَوْمِ اتخذوا هذا القرآن مهجورا. As you can see in both of these examples, the word الرسول and Al-Quran are masculine nouns because they do not belong to any of the three categories we talked about. And because both of these words are masculine, we could easily recognize the word هذا, which is the masculine demonstrative pronoun in Arabic. Another example: وَلَا تَقْرَبَا هَذِهِ الشَّجَرَةَ فَتَكُونَا مِنَ الظَّالِمِينَ وَإِذْ قُلْنَا ادْخُلُوا هَذِهِ الْقَرْيَةَ فَكُلُوا مِنْهَا حَيْثُ شِئْتُمْ رَغَدًا. Here we can see a couple of feminine words. How do we know that? By recognizing how the word ended. The first word, الشجرة, it is a definite word and it ended with ta marbuta, so this means that it is a feminine word. And therefore, we used هذه, which is a suitable feminine demonstrative pronoun in Arabic. Again, with the word Al-qamarya, it is a feminine noun, and therefore we use the word هذه. The second type of words that is affected by the gender of the noun are the words that are used after the nouns. We call them adjectives. And for those who don't know, adjectives are words that describe nouns, like big, small, and so on. In Arabic, and unlike English, adjectives come after and not before the noun. The adjective should, in most cases, agree with the gender of the noun. If the noun is masculine, the adjective should also be masculine. And if the noun is feminine, the adjective should be feminine too. Let's have a look at the word كبير in the following example. وَلَا يُنْفِقُونَ نَفَقَةً صَغِيرَةً وَلَا كَبِيرَةً وَلَا يَقْطَعُونَ وَادِيًا يَسْأَلُونَكَ عَنِ الْخَمْرِ وَالْمَيْسِرِ قُلْ فِيهِمَا إِثْمٌ كَبِيرٌ. As you can see, we see the word kabir used in two different ways because it was used after two different genders of the noun. In the first example, the word nafaqa is a feminine word, and therefore it was followed by the word saghira and kabira, and both of these adjectives agreed with the gender of the word, which is feminine. So they all ended with ta marbuta. But if you look at the second example, with the word ithm, the word ithm is clearly a masculine noun because it does not belong to any of the three categories we talked about. And therefore, the word kabir has to agree with the gender of the word ithm, and therefore, it has no ta marbuta at the end of it. The third and last thing we use the gender of the noun for is when we want to refer to it, which is called in English pronoun. Looking at the word pronoun itself, it reveals what it means. Pro comes from a Latin origin, meaning on behalf of. So pronouns are words that are used on behalf of nouns, like he, she, I, and you. And whether you use a masculine or a feminine noun, it will naturally affect which pronoun you use to refer to the noun. Let's learn what they mean in Arabic one by one. First, if you want to refer to a masculine noun, you're going to use the word huwa, which means he, like in this example. خَلَقَ الْإِنسَانَ مِن نُطْفَةٍ فَإِذَا هُوَ خَصِيمٌ مُبِينٌ. Here we see the word huwa, which refers to the masculine noun that was mentioned before. It is the word al-insan, which means the human. So in order to refer to this masculine noun, we use the word huwa. And if you want to use the pronoun huwa in different positions in the sentence with the meaning of his or him, you will only add the letter ha at the end of the noun you want to refer to, turning words like kitab, a book, into kitabuh, which would then mean his book. And we see it used in the Quran in these examples. قال لن تراني ولكن انظر إلى الجبل فإن استقر مكانه فسوف تراني. Here we see the word makan, which means place. But we see that there is a ha attached to the end of it. This ha refers to the closest masculine noun that was mentioned before it. And in this case, it is the word al-jabal, the mountain. So, this would mean the place of the mountain. Another example. ما المسيح ابن مريم إلا رسول قد خلت من قبله الرسل وأمه صديقة. Here we see two examples of using the masculine pronoun that refers to a masculine noun. First, we see that the word qabl, which means before, has ha attached at the end of it, which would then mean before him. And the closest masculine noun that was mentioned before it is then Prophet Jesus. And as we move further in the ayah, we see the word ummuhu. The word means mother, but again there is a ha attached to the end of the word, which refers to the same noun, and that is the mother of Jesus. Next, if you want to refer to a feminine word, you will use hiya, which means she, like in these examples. أو كالذي مر على قرية وهي خاوية على عروشها. Here we see that the word hiya is used to refer to the word qarya because it is a feminine noun. Notice that the translation would ignore the fact that hiya is indeed a feminine noun, and it would be translated into the neutral gender because it is translated into English, and therefore you will have to change the gender according to the language. And if you want to refer to a feminine noun in different positions in the sentence, like using her in English, you would then add ha and alif at the end of the noun you want to refer it to. So you would then change a word like kitab, a book, into kitabuha, which would then mean her book, like in these examples. وَشَهِدَ شَاهِدٌ مِّنْ أَهْلِهَا إِن كَانَ قَمِيصُهُ قُدَّ مِن قُبُلٍ. As you can see, this ayah was taken from Surat Yusuf. The word أهلها is made up of أهل, which, as you should know, means the family of, and at the end of it you will see ha attached to the end of the word to refer to the fact that it is the family of the wife of the governor who was trying to seduce Yusuf alayhi salam. Next is a pronoun that could be used with masculine and feminine nouns, which is ana, which means I. We see it used in this example. وَقَالَ الَّذِي نَجَا مِنْهُمَا وَادَّكَرَ بَعْدَ أُمَّةٍ أَنَا أُنَبِّئُكُمْ بِتَأْوِيلِهِ. So you could say أنا whether you are a male or a female. And if you want to use the pronoun in other positions in the sentence, like saying me or my, you would then have to add ya at the end of the noun you want to refer to. So you would then turn the word kitab, a book, into kitabi, my book, like in this example. يا عبادي الذين آمنوا إن أرضي واسعة. But this time we're going to understand why the word أرض has ya at the end of it. The word أرض with ya at the end of it means my earth. because it is Allah who is talking in this ayah. قال رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي واجعل لي وزيرا من أهلي هارون أخي. Have you found all the nouns that have pronouns attached to the end of them? Let me know in the comments below. Finally is the word أنت, which means you in English. We see it used in this example. ذق إنك أنت العزيز الكريم. Here the word أنت was used with the meaning of you. And if you want to use the pronoun in other positions in the sentence, like saying your, for example, the word أنت will turn into كاف at the end of the word. So you would turn a word like كتاب, a book, into كتابك, which would then mean your book, like in this example. واذكر ربك كثيرا وسبح بالعشي والإبكار. Here we see the word ربك, which is made up of two parts, and that is رب, which is Lord, and the second part, which is the kaf attached to the end of the noun, which would then mean your Lord. So in a nutshell, there are only two genders in Arabic, masculine and feminine. And all Arabic nouns are masculine except in three cases: natural females, nouns that end with ta marbuta, body parts that occur in pairs. And in the Holy Quran, there is a few number of exceptions that you have to learn by heart. And there are three reasons why knowing the gender of the noun is important to understanding the Quran. The first reason is knowing which demonstrative pronouns are used before the noun, using the proper adjectives that come after the noun. And last is using the proper pronouns instead of the noun itself. And before you go, don't forget to check out the description for the homework of this lesson. And as usual, if you want to get your homework checked, you can leave it in the comments below. And don't forget to check out our social profile if you want to get more tips about this lesson and other topics related to Arabic or the Holy Quran. Thanks for watching. I hope you've learned something new today. If you did, please like and share the video for other people to learn from it. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you want to see more videos like this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in lesson 3.